43.
42. 41.
40.
39.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33. 32.
31.
30. 29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
And good evening and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show, a minty fresh take on politics. And wow, we got a minty fresh take tonight. I mean, you know, you talk about these property taxes and what can be done and all that. Well, hey, we got a property tax insider, somebody that worked at the assessor's office down in Monroe County, and she saw how the sausage was being made, and she really thought that they weren't making it right. And she said something, and guess what happened to her? She got fired. So she's here tonight to tell our story. And you probably notice I don't have my mouthwash shirt on. I have this fancy Speedway shirt on. And so we were serving our homeless friends on the street this Sunday at 3 p.m. down at the Mission 27, like we do every Sunday for the last bunch of years. And I saw this gentleman walk through the line. I said, wow, that's a nice shirt you have on there. And I told him a story about Lisa being for the love of Speedway and her artist collective. And he says, you know what? You guys come down here and serve us every Sunday. I'm going to give you this shirt. And the guy literally gave me this shirt off his back, and I washed it up and ready to go. I like it. It's got that little slickery material. Now the logo's not really authentic, but I don't care. It's the thought that counts on that. But anyway, I digress. Back to our show tonight. We got a great show for you. We have Jenee Trimble on, and you probably think, I don't know who she is. Well, you're going to know. So if you care about your property and the taxes that are coming on it, she's going to give us the nuts and bolts of that. And the panel's getting all warmed up here. I do not see Lucy yet. I really wanted her to be here because I put that little taxation and theft on the end of the show introduction there just for her. But I'm going to go ahead and play. Let's see here. I gotta get this up here because I am the producer. I'm going to play this Facebook thing here. Let's see. I want to share it. Let's see.
The clock is visible on our monitors. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jenee Trimble, and I reside in Monroe County. I worked in the Monroe County's assessor's office from October 2023 to October 2024 as the assistant property director before putting in my 2-week notice and taking another position within the county. During my time there, I witnessed multiple violations of Indiana state code. This is not rumor or hearsay, but experiences that I personally witnessed and partook in. I saw the violations, heard the violations, and was instructed to perform them. The practice of sales chasing and the manipulation of ratio studies are causing the housing and rental markets to increase inorganically, and this has been practiced by this office for years. I have hundreds of examples of documentation proving the state code violations, many of which I have already provided to this Board of Commissioners. 50 IAC 27-4-5, 50 IAC 27-11-2, 50 IAC 3.3-2-2, 50 IAC 15-1-3.5, just to list a few, and there are many more. I first blew the whistle and followed the suggested guidelines found on Indiana Gov for reporting illegal and unethical practices from elected officials in the proper chain of command. On 3/3/2025, per these guidelines, I reported this activity to my supervisors, the Department of Local Government Finance, and then I reported it to you, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, and the Monroe County Legal Department. the Monroe County Board of Commissioners and the Monroe County Legal Department. Whistle and follow the suggested guidelines found on Indiana Gov for reporting illegal and unethical practice in Monroe County Legal Department. Whistle and follow the suggested guidelines found on Indiana Gov for reporting illegal and unethical practice in Monroe County Legal Department.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. I am going to have to figure this out. Hold on a second. And that's what happens when you have issues with the board here. So I have to get this straightened out. Let me see if I can get it done here without having too much troubles. Let's see. Hold, please.
Another position within the county. During my time there, I witnessed multiple violations of Indiana state code. This is not rumor or hearsay, but experiences that I personally witnessed and partook in. I saw the violations, heard the violations, and was instructed to perform them. The practice of sales chasing and the manipulation of ratio studies are causing the housing and rental markets to increase inorganically, and this has been practiced by this office for years. I have hundreds of examples of documentation proving the state code violations, many of which I have already provided to this Board of Commissioners. 50 IAC 27-4-5, 50 IAC 27-11-2, 50 IAC 3.3-2-2, 50 IAC 15-1-3.5, just to list a few, and there are many more. I first blew the whistle and followed the suggested guidelines found on Indiana Gov for reporting illegal and unethical practices from elected officials in the proper chain of command. On 3/3/2025, per these guidelines, I reported this activity to my supervisors, the Department of Local Government Finance, and then I reported it to you, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, and the Monroe County Legal Department. And you have yet to hold a conversation with me concerning this matter. Instead, I experienced retaliation, bullying, and harassment from the assessor, HR, and from the county attorneys, from whom I filed a claim against. False accusations coming from social media that were in fact rumor with no supported documentation were made against me and my employment threatened. Instead of the county investigating or even inquiring about the fraud I was reporting, the county opened an investigation against me to try to terminate my employment once again. I've been bullied and harassed by the assessor dating back to October 2024. I choose to publicly stand up for myself, my family, my friends, my neighbors, and for all the residents of my county, and ask that you do the same and open an investigation into the reported illegal activity of the assessor's office. In closing, I'd like to quote part of your opening statement, and I'm putting a demand on that statement, and I'm asking that you fulfill the oath. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to protect the rights of all people, and we affirm the right of every person to live peaceably, without fear, and we will fight at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Repeating and stressing harmful policies, whatever their source. I'm pleading the Indiana whistleblower laws in my defense, and I ask that I do not receive more retaliation for exercising my local, state, and federally protected right as a resident in Monroe County to speak at this public meeting. Thank you for your time.
All right, all right. Sorry about that. If I had a producer, those things wouldn't happen. But but Jenee, you're up there, and that was back about what?
April. It was
April.
I think April 17th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and when were you let go then?
The following month. A month later.
Month. So
yeah,
that's what you get for saying something, right?
Yeah, which they had already tried to fire me multiple times before I spoke at that meeting.
So, we've had, our theme sort of has been lawfare and people that use the law and not the way they're supposed to. And, in your case, they use their position against you. And I know I met you at Micah Beckwith's town hall meeting down in near Nineveh. And it was, I could, I'm like, hey, who is this guy? She's like really, knows what's going on. I thought this was a very fresh thing that had happened to you, but really it's been going on, but you had trouble getting your voice out there. How, you obviously did that in front of the commission. Did you get any response other than getting fired from nothing?
No.
They just sort of hoped it went away. We're going to ignore her and go away. Well,
right off the bat, they met with the assessor. It was legal, HR, the assessor, and the auditor, my boss at the time. They kept meeting amongst themselves, trying to figure out how they were going to fire me.
So what did they give you a reason, or they just say we don't no longer need?
Yeah. The first time they tried to fire me, they said I had made, when I finally came forth, they were really giving me a hard time. So I was just trying to protect myself, get it out to the public. So once I did that, I said that I was going to go live and let everybody know what was going on. And I had taken a picture of my laptop screen showing all the emails, the email chain of everybody in the county and the state that I had tried to get this to. So I posted that on Facebook, and they accused me of using my work computer and said it was an abuse of government property. So that was the first time they tried to fire me. The second time they tried to fire me for doxing, even though everything that I've put on, it's all public information, all their names, all their emails are on the county website. And then the third time, they just made up a reason. They said that I left work without permission, and so I violated their tardy and absentee policy.
Yeah, it's like, so, you reached out and none of these officials got back with you.
And not a word. And I gave it to everybody.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of what you found out and all that. I wanted to tell your story, first of all, what it is. And I was reading through some of the stuff you have sent me, and this has really been sort of a financial hardship on you and type of a thing. Is that, am I correct in that? It's like, when you lose your
I'm
job.
getting ready to lose my place that I rent because I lost my job, my insurance, all my medication, financial duress. They tried to fight me on unemployment. I finally got unemployment, but I'm getting ready to lose my place. I'm going to pack everything up, put it in storage, and still going ahead.
Live in a van down by the river, so to speak. But that's, but I did see you mention you have some sons that you could possibly move with
I'll stay with my kids. I've got plenty of family until I figure something else out.
Okay. Well,
which I knew this was a possible. I knew the risk. I knew that they were going to fire me, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? You should. We have whistleblower laws and that type of thing. Now, do you have any kind of legal action going now with them, or?
I have 2 civil torts currently going on, just because I had 2 separate issues. I had like all the state code violations, the illegal, like actual crimes. And then I had the harassment and retaliation. So I separated out the retaliation and harassment and filed 2 civil torts. And then I have some things going on behind the scenes for the criminal that I can't say yet.
Okay. And so one more thing before we get to it. So you're a lady of action, and the action means you're going to run for assessor. And you to be an assessor, you have to have a level 1 and a level 2 thing. Explain that real quick. And then I see Brad's coming in and out, so that's why I'm sort of stalling around here. Tiffany's, I see Tiffany's ready to jump in here and ask questions, and Brad's back there coming.
Yeah,
maybe his Bud Light's getting cold.
Every assessor, you have to have you have to end up obtaining a level 3 certification from the state for a certified appraiser assessor. So you have to have your level 2 to actually run. I already have my level 1. And so I have to finish and get my level 2.
Okay. Well, so what does that entail? I see Lucy coming on. So I'm literally stalling here, folks, but I'm going to ask some good questions here. So what is a level? Now, level 2 is like how you do this.
You learn the reassessment, Indiana's reassessment property guidelines, and it's like each level is like a semester of college. I mean, it's a lot. It's all their cost tables, grading tables, ratio studies. It's a breakdown of all that.
And then I suppose there's a test at the end of this thing that you have to pass.
Yeah.
So is this one of the things that I know? I mean, I'm just going to say, I don't want to get, I'm trying to say this right. I don't want to get sued again for something, but it seems like the people in Marion County, I don't know if they've taken this class or not, because we've appealed our assessment, and I just got a check for $3,000 back because they screwed it up. And it's because they don't come out and look at things. So just give us a real, and I see the whole crew back there, but I'm going to ask this one question. What is, Brad, you keep flipping out, you keep going in and out. Maybe he's not got his sound right, but when I see them all three back there and their smiling faces where they're coming on, what has changed? Because I know in the past they didn't reassess. It seems like I get reassessed every single year now. And
in 2002 they changed it to where you do get looked at every year, but you shouldn't have a hard hit every year. So the reassessment cycle is 4 years, and so every single parcel is to be physically visited once every 4 years for like an actual site visit, and then that's when they'll notice like improvements, new yard features, exterior features. But that's the only time they should physically visit your property, unless if you file a permit, every permit goes to the assessor's office so that they can send the field reps out and pick up.
Well, that's so funny because
construction, whatever you're doing, or if you report damage. But other than that,
so that's funny.
But other than that, they should only every year your assessment increase by like trim.
Right. Well, I went from 45,000.
At least in Monroe County, they're being aggressive.
Yeah, I went from 45,000.
The practices that they're doing.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? It seems like I've
got like a little delay. It'll cut out and then it kind of loops back.
Yeah, that's our beautiful internet. I just don't know what else could go wrong tonight. So I do have everybody back there on the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody on here. Let's see how we can do this. Let's get the people in the right places here. It never pops up the exact right way. So Tiffany on the right, Brad in the middle, get off of there. You're supposed to be over there. Now it's all good. We got it all good.
Wait,
I've had some fun tonight with this thing. You know, my video didn't play well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is Lucy. I know you've been chomping at the bit for this one. I mean, she's actually working with the zoning board down in Salem. And what's your county name there?
It's Washington County, and I'm now appointed to the Planning Commission. And this morning was our county commissioners meeting, and I had the opportunity to point out that although they canceled the meeting on tonight, I should have had a planning and zoning mission meeting tonight. They rescheduled it to next Saturday. And even though I'm on the board, no one bothered to tell me. I had to find out through the Facebook grapevine. And then once I got there today and complained about it, well, it turns out our lackadaisical attorney had not properly, with enough time, notified of the change. So then the second meeting for the 9th got canceled. And then the other thing I talked about in my little 3 minutes, because I have to speak the county commissioners meeting every time, was the fact that we have rights over our own body. We have we have property rights over our own body, and the fact that what we produce with our body, that labor that we produce, that creates products or things that we buy. And so our labor and rights over our body extend to the properties that we buy. And what an egregious thing it is that people, in an attempt to provide safety and security for themselves and future generations, buy property. But yet that shelter that they purchase in order to create generational security can be taken away from them by the extremely illegal, criminal, terrible acts that you've been exposing in Monroe County. So anyway, I'm just a monkey wrench in the machine.
we're hamsters on the hamster wheel. What are you talking about? And this is Tiffany. You got something? Unmute. I know you had your phone ringing there.
I have a question, Jeanette. Yeah, it's my timer. It goes off every day at 9:20 to tell me to get ready for bed. So I'm up late. So, Jenee, I love the video, love your passion, but I know you were reciting some code in the video, and I don't know exactly what the code is. Are you able to go into more depth as to what was going on, like the T?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I had because in the beginning of this, when I first came forward, everything was happening so fast with them trying to just silence me, fire me. I mean, it was crazy. So I was just doing whatever I could do very hurriedly, trying to get everything out of there, like just get it out to the public, trying to protect myself. And so in the beginning, that was just a few of like the administration codes in the Indiana State Code, like for the property reassessment guidelines. But now, I mean, I have a lot. Like I had sent John, I have like a presentation put together, and it lists several of the Indiana State Codes just for all the different violations of they're manipulating their ratio studies, their sales chasing, assessing.
I don't understand what that means. I'm sorry.
So there's different practices within the reassessment procedures. And so that's all under state code of like how you assess, and they're violating all of those. They're actually violating like the procedure, how they implement.
Yeah, what would be the reason for that? To be able to tax more?
To increase the
value of the houses, to inflate the assessed value, to get more tax.
Yes. They're increasing the assessed values way higher than they should be.
What is sales chasing? What does that mean?
So sales chasing, with the reassessment cycle is 4 years. So in a 4-year time period, you do 25% of the county, like every single year. So your property is physically visited and inspected once every 4 years during that reassessment cycle. And that's when they'll pick up, oh, did you paint the outside of your house? Did you make any major improvements? Do you have new construction? Outside of that, they shouldn't visit your property unless if you file for a permit and you do you put on a detached garage or, a remodel, then they'll send the field reps out and they'll pick up those remodels or new construction. But outside of that, they should not just sit there and watch your property, year after year after year and target you.
So how do they make it go? I mean, how do they make it go up? Because mine's gone up. I started out in 2020 at $45,000. I'm at $328 in here, 2025.
What they're doing. So like with the sales chasing, the sales come in. And so like in Monroe County, the supervisor over the sales disclosures, he goes in, he records like your sale that's on your property record card. And then he gives that to the property director. Well, then what she does, she takes the sales. And so she actually looks at the sale and she sees what the assessed value is. And if it's lower, then she's going to go in there and she's going to make changes, physical characteristics to your home, which should only be done like in the reassessment process. But she'll target every single sale. Oh, we're 50,000. So what can I do to alter the house to get it up to
so she's bringing the assessed value up to the retail, what it retailed for,
to the sales price. But they'll do that sometimes with what they call trending, but you do it to the whole neighborhood, so everything's like balanced and even and equal. But they're just doing it house by house by house by house, and they're still adding their trending on. So at the end of the year, they can add a percentage to get all of the assessed values up to market value. Well, they're doing it anyways.
So do you have one question real quick? Do you have a like year to year how much money it raises up? So I'm just going to use, for example, in 2023, we collected $10 in property taxes.
I have.
And now it's a bunch more.
I have that. I could like dig it out, but I know. So from the year before, the assessed values increased by 171 million, which that's pretty normal. Last year, they increased by $1 billion more than that.
And just in Monroe County?
Just in Monroe County.
Wow, man, that Lake Monroe is like pumping out some houses now.
And
that's Bloomington too, right?
Yeah.
Bloomington. And
that is our second $1 billion increase just in the past like 3 or 4 years. But so like sales chasing, when you do sales chasing, you're causing the market to increase faster and higher than it would on its own. You're like supercharging.
Yeah, no kidding.
Since COVID, there was a natural boom in the housing market. But what they're doing, it's like
Double
a
boom.
battery. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
we and there's so many people are frustrated with these housing prices. And I've remodeled my house, and I know I must be punished for improving my lot. I mean, I know it's going to take more water to put out my house now, and my garbage is going to have to be picked up a lot more. And my road's going to have to be paved extra because I've added to my house. I really don't see the correlation between how we get to these property taxes and what services we get. In our case, we don't get here in Mars Hill, but yet these counties are going up $1 billion.
Yeah.
And now I'm afraid the cat's out of the bag here. They've already spent all that money, and now they're expecting to keep having it. So cutting back property taxes is going to be almost impossible, right?
Oh yeah. And I transferred out of the assessor into the to the auditor's office, and I worked on the claims team, and there's a lot of excess expenditure, a lot.
So we I know Brad's dominating this whole show right now, but before we get to Brad, what happens if you refuse to let the assessors into your house? I don't think it matters, does it? They just sort of drive by and jack you up.
Yeah.
Do they come inside? I don't think they do.
They can come inside, and they could actually, I mean, no one's ever,
Fifth Amendment.
Don't, but they can, and they can actually get like a court order to enter. But I mean, I've never known of that to happen.
I would love for them to do that to my house.
Yeah,
we need to see if you've taken that double wide and upgraded it from 99-cent laminate flooring to $1.99.
Well, you saying double wide, that's another thing they're doing. So a mobile home is not assessed as real property. It can't be, if it's on land, it can only be assessed as real property if it's on a permanent foundation.
I'm
going to put wheels on my house.
To up all those assessed values, though, they just went in every mobile home. They started assessing it as a framed stick-built house, no matter what. If you're on a foundation, or not,
that's fraud, misrepresentation.
Right. Yes.
All those wily politicians. Can I point out this is the Republicans' fault? And
John,
Melissa
that's the
Donahue,
funniest thing
God
you've
rest
ever
her,
said.
God rest her soul. This is, her Tea Party vision of having, saying that the property tax is unconstitutional. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and her, writing her, her memory is, it hasn't been buried that long, and here I am bitching about her. But the fact of the matter is she claimed that she was the one who started this whole movement against property taxes and did us all the wonderful favor, of getting a constitutional amendment to the Indiana Constitution, which we did not have before, that made taxes constitutional. And we tried to warn people that taxation is theft, and politicians are even more creative with their theft. And we warned people that there was going to be no cap on property taxes, no matter what the politician said. There were not going to be, there are these circuit breaker things. And as a landlord myself, I tried to explain the danger of having a 1% value, evaluation, or 1% tax rate rather, on the assessed value on residential for owner occupied. And then landlords, rental properties are getting 2% because, it's invisible to the renters. They don't understand, that they're paying an extra $150 a month that just goes to the government. And so it's easy to tax people who are disconnected from the invoice. And then third, of course, we have our industrial and commercial, the big players that are taxed at 3%. And we warned people, it doesn't matter what percentage they put on the tax, because then they're going to jack around with the assessment. And so once again, the libertarians are correct, and we are still poor and unable to fight this.
That's true.
So
well, you think about it.
This.
You think about the new data center. They're going to give them a 50% tax cut. It's like, so these big corporations get these abatements and these tax frees and the different things, but us poor suckers here are paying our top dollar for nothing. So Brad, please ask a question. I didn't even know you were on the show tonight. Say
well,
something.
no, I mean, you guys are killing it. Thank you for carrying the show. No, I actually wanted to find out about the codes that you do mention, though. Then, are they just toothless, or are they able to be enforced by somebody, or are we just not?
They should be. Which the codes that I have now, like that's just administrative codes, but I mean they're still in the state code. Like I have attached like a lot bigger ones and a lot more, but so the agency, the Department of Local Government Finance, is who is over all the assessors. But okay, so so Judy Sharp, the assessor of Monroe County, she's been the assessor for 39 years. So she's very plugged in. She's a big part of the assessment world. She's been a huge part of the whole the whole process. And
she's like a level 39. Hey, did you happen to look up her assessed her property assessments over the years?
It's low. Theirs are low. Theirs are
of course.
like $150,000 lower.
Yeah, that's going on in Washington.
Their house is on.
How long have these people all been in office? Like, are these?
So Judy has been in office for 39 years, and the majority of her team, it's like a cult in there. They've been in there for like 30 years, 20 years. They've been together for a long time.
So,
you'll have to research this. So the co-creators of Indiana's current the property assessment guidelines that they use, the co-creators of that also own the two largest mass appraisal companies in Indiana. So they're also the ones who implement it. They created it, and they're the ones who have.
I mean, they could ethically look at it, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
They're good Democrats.
And they who gave them their start was Judy. So I mean, Judy's very plugged in with everyone. But I had reported it to the Department of Local Government Finance, and as soon as I told them who it was, he wanted to know at first. He's like, well, if there's an assessor doing this, I want to know who it is, blah, 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 blah. As soon as I said it was Judy Sharp, Monroe County, crickets. And he finally emailed me back after a week and said, drop it. They're not investigating it. It's done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why our attorney general doesn't pick that up.
Well, I've tried. And the attorney general told me that I need to go to the State Board of Accounts. The State Board of Accounts told me to go back to the DLGF. The DLGF said,
they're the ones that cut her feed.
Department. I mean, I've been to everyone. I gave county prosecutor.
She's gone. She could take those crickets and go catch bluegills in Lake Monroe that they've been doing.
I think she needs Rafael Sanchez.
Yeah. Well, hey, she needs mouthwash. We're getting stuff done here.
What she needs are about 7 million pissed off Hoosiers who are, at this point, everybody who owns a property, the only sane thing to do is for every single person to challenge every single assessment. We've got to bury them in paperwork.
Yeah, well, we did. That property tax rally we did a couple years back. I'm still getting people that appealed their property taxes.
I lost everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're back. Look at that. Yay, do you have to recycle your Bud Light like Brad does?
I don't know. I hate
yeah, sometimes the internet down there, all those property taxes you pay down in Monroe County, you'd think you'd get a decent internet. But yeah.
Well, can we at least talk about the housing market eventually too, because of how outrageous it is? And
we'll get to that.
Because I think everybody's hung up on the fact that when you buy a house, it's going to be an investment, and for 30 years you're putting in this money, and you expect like a return of like 20 times whatever you invested, and people still
the realtor's shaking her head.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to explain why everything's so expensive. It's like people look at houses like they're this. I don't know. It shouldn't be.
Well, I can tell you part of. So, like when COVID hit, there was like a natural boom, right? Everybody's home. They're getting all this money. Like all these TikToks are going on with all these home improvement videos, and everybody's wanting to get a house, right?
I'm gonna build a deck.
There was a natural.
Back up just a little bit. There were people who were living places, and the only time they were ever at home was when they went to work and when they came home from work before they went to bed. So there were people who were living places that were adequate when they were outside of their homes. And then COVID happened. And then it was where I live. It was the people I live with. Do I like my wife? Do I like my kids? Do I like where I live?
Yeah.
I got a divorce right before the COVID lockdown went in.
Yeah, I was going to say she'd have killed you if you had to go through that.
That would have been bad.
The assessor, so Monroe County took advantage of that. So once you start chasing the sales aggressively, So you've got somebody assessed for, say, $100,000. Well, they sell their house for 125. The assessor's right on it. Okay, they sold it for 125. We're going to put them at 130, 140. Well, then the people, oh, well, the assessor's saying it's worth 140. I'm going to sell it for 2. Like when they're sales chasing like that and just upping the values, and then the people are selling them, oh, well, this is my value. It was just like it speeds that up. But then there's another practice. It's called, so they have what's called a ratio study. So it's a comparison between the sales price and the assessed values. And it should equal 100%. Like your assessed values, Indiana's 100% market state. So your assessed value should be very comparable to your market value. So they do all those comparisons with the sales, and what they've been doing is they can't pass the sales organically. You can have a plus or minus 10%, and if you don't fall within that percentage, you're not in compliance. So it's telling you that either your assessments are way too low or they're way too high. So that gives them a red flag to go back in and look at that neighborhood, and they should make adjustments. Well, what Monroe County is doing, they're manipulating those ratio studies. Like if they have, if they're assessed way too low in an area or way too high, they'll just pull all those cells out, and they're giving fraudulent reasons. And then they're just submitting that data to the state. The state, they're not auditing the omitted cells. They're just running the numbers like back through the formula that they're given.
Are there not enough auditors, or like, is it like inspectors general kind of a thing?
It's just like we're taking this in good faith. You're the assessor.
Why?
You're right. You're the assessor, and and like the director of the Department of Local Government Finance, like him and Judy go to lunch. Like they've known each other for a long time. So she gives them the numbers, and they run them. Yeah.
What does a helicopter pad do to your
ratio studies? Huh?
Sorry, I made Tiffany shake her head.
What does a helicopter pad assess for?
Yeah, what is a helicopter pad do to your assessment?
So the two things together, the manipulating the ratio studies also causes your market to increase way quicker than it should. So when you're doing both of them, you're chasing the sales and you're manipulating your ratio studies, man, your market is just
whoa. So what that is, so the ones that they're omitting are the ones that are inexpensive sales. So I'm imagining that you guys have homes at different price points in Monroe County. So of course they're all over everything that's probably, I don't know, 250 and higher. But what if you sell a home for like 70 or 80,000? They're omitting that.
Well, they would look at their assessed value. So if they have it assessed for, say they have it assessed for 100,000, but the house only sells for 70. So that's showing them, okay, we're assessed too high on that. They'll just take it out because they don't want to lower their assessed value, which really that's what they should do. If they have a lot of sales and they're way too high, they should go back and reassess that, but they won't. They'll just take them out so they can leave those values high.
But the thing is that like overinflating your housing market is horrible, because when interest rates, like nothing will sell. And so what happens is everything ends up selling beneath or lower than value.
And that's where sales have slowed.
Like,
yeah.
But
one
of the things that's interesting is that everybody says that, like government should never be like leading the way. Government is like one of those lagging indicators. And it's just so unfortunate that with like chasing sales, if they were or were not doing it, it puts your government moving forward, not faster than the market. And so your government can adjust. And as I think that through, when you're assessed at the higher value, you're bringing in more tax revenue, but it's hard to live on less. So if those values naturally go down, and one of the things we even see in Hamilton County is that things are going for, 3 to 5% less than list price. And your market can't even absorb that because it's just so artificially high. And I can only imagine how high the rents are. I will tell you in Monroe County, this is getting to your power company. This is a complete aside. My daughter stayed in a 1,000, maybe it was an 800 square foot apartment. and her power bill was $230 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong with y'all's utilities. I don't know.
Way too, yeah.
The data center in there.
And
She
I
was
felt
growing
like,
weed then, Tiffany.
no, she's not. I felt like they were taking advantage. I felt like they were taking advantage of out of town parents,
Mm-hmm.
who just have kids in like these apartments or whatever. But
Mhm.
I was like, Michaela, turn everything off. I mean, they couldn't get around it, but
we just had a huge Duke like increase. Our rates, we got a big increase. Mm-hmm. Monroe County did.
So I got a question. How about John Mellencamp's house? How much is it assessed for? Did you ever find?
I have actually done his house. Like I did his house while I was in there, and I can't. Like he has several properties, like all over the place, and I can't remember.
The one he's got one on Monroe. I knew several contractors that worked on his house at Monroe when he was married to Christy Brinkley. So they had some interesting stories. But so okay, so you want you're going to run against this Judy character, is that correct? So
Yes.
what do you think your chances are? I mean, she's been there 39 years.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like pretty good now that people are talking about it. I mean, I'm at least going to do it and get. No one ever runs against her. She hardly ever has any opposition because, well, it used to. She was part of getting
writing the book.
That used to. You had to have a level 3 certification to run for assessor, which is near impossible. So no one ever ran against her. Like, I think it's been like 10 years since somebody even tried to run against her. They actually lowered it to level 2 now, but no one runs. So I'm at least, I don't know if I'll get it or not, but I'll at least give everybody.
You've passed your level 2 and you're
I have to take my level 2.
You still have to take it?
I have to take my level 2. I have my level 1.
Okay. So yeah, it just seems like it's a lot of stuff to do to have people yell at you. So
yeah.
I mean,
but I really want to get in there and fix it. Like I really want to.
Yeah, I find that the government don't want people to fix things.
I found that out too.
Yeah, it's like we're all the top, our top layer here. They've all done well. You and me on the bottom layer here, we've not gotten. So Tiffany's on the council.
Jenee. So given all this that's going on, this is just to piggyback off of what John was talking about. With you kind of poking the beehive and maybe uncovering some things that are making people uncomfortable. What are you doing to manage your personal safety?
Well, actually, one day I have cameras that I installed outside of my house, but I had someone come to my property and they put it was like contractor nails. They were like ginormous and they were brand new. Like they had to go buy them because they were like shiny and unused, but a bunch of nails under my back tires. Yeah.
Okay, so our friend Kim Livorno, she says, ask Jenee if Judy influenced other county assessments or trained other counties.
So I know other assessors. So a lot of people in Monroe County's office, they have conference for statewide, like for all the assessors twice a year. So I know Judy and like some of the other staff have taught like different classes there. But yes, some of the new assessors, if you get a new assessor in, they'll call Judy like for advice or,
So do you think that they were doing these same practices there or?
Well, Judy, like Monroe County is like the model county for the state. So absolutely. These other counties are modeling after Monroe. And definitely I can tell like the surrounding counties of Monroe, like Owen, Lawrence, they're really trying to do what she's doing. They're just not as good at it. Like,
yeah, well, it seems like you got a good racket going there. So, so let's just say that if you're an assessor, you say you win an assessment. Now, could you just like go, I'm going to lower everybody's assessed value by 20%?
No,
you can't do that.
You have to.
You got rules, I know.
Like, you have to be at market value. You're supposed to have rules. Like they change the rules or omit the rules. But yeah, there's certain like cost tables and studies, and you couldn't just set them to whatever you wanted.
So that's what you take a level.
Did you ever watch How to Get Away with Murder?
Is it Ryan Gosling in that one?
No. Annalise Keating, that was Viola Davis.
Okay, okay.
As I listened to you talk about this, and it's very similar to the gentleman that we had on last week, people who have issues, and for you to move forward, you're totally like not abolishing, but pulling apart what everybody think is okay. You're pulling apart the establishment and everything that our tax system is based on. But I would imagine that if you became the assessor, you would have to probably sue the state of Indiana.
Yes.
You would have to do that to give your constituents, the people of Monroe County, tax relief against the system. And so there's this part during How to Get Away with Murder where Annalise Keating takes this case to the Supreme Court and she wins. Sorry, it was on in 2014. If you missed it, you missed it. But
I gotta watch it now.
But I'm listening to you talking, about like dismantling the system.
Yeah.
And like, what could you do if you were elected other than sue the state of Indiana to give property tax relief to people who are being unfairly assessed? I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking.
How about this? How about
wait, because somebody in the comments said about the middle class, and I think that's something that needs to really be understood, is that the middle class is getting pinched. These are people who have jobs and they go to work and they're making tough choices. They're choosing between, like corn, sugar cereal, and like, like corn flakes or like frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? These are people who are making the decisions at the go level about like when they're going to take their kid to the doctor, what medications they might miss, not being able to miss a shift at work, working double time to get their kids clothes. And it's not fair. Like the middle class is under assault. And those are the people with those houses and the taxes.
Yeah. Okay, real quick, two things that you said. Okay. So my line was the main line for appeals in 2024. The Habitat for Humanity homes, the USDA rural housing loans, and those on Social Security, man, they were, under such financial duress, like because their payments are going up, not by $25 a month. We're talking $100 a month, $150 a month. But what you're saying, they're making choices. Am I eating ramen noodles this week? But so many of them are calling in like, hey, I'm going to have to sell my house. I can't pay my property taxes. Like, I just wanted to touch on that. But one other thing, so going after the system, like Indiana, we don't need another property tax relief bill. That's not going to do anything. The root of the problem is the assessment process. That's the problem. If they don't fix the assessment, because outside of what they're doing illegally, built within the system, there are tons of ways to manipulate those numbers to whatever, like,
okay.
The problem is.
Do you think this is specific to Indiana though, then?
Oh yeah. I don't know how other states do it. I don't know how other states do it, but at least ours, oh my gosh, that's the problem.
So how much, if you were just to follow the rules and, put those other home sales in and all that, how much do you think that the taxes could be lowered? I mean, is this?
Well, I feel like with the assessed values increasing by $1 billion more than they did the year before, I mean, hundreds of millions.
So you could actually make a dent in it.
But so wait a minute, based on these inflated numbers, how does the $300 tax relief fit into it? So
if it's toilet paper, you can wipe your ass with it.
No. To me, it sounds like in advance of this property tax relief, your county was living at the high end, so that property tax relief will be very, very helpful to folks who live there. And your city might be able to absorb the reduction, because I know, that's a real line on municipal budgets is how much money we're losing because of the tax relief, which is a great thing. But
not hating on anybody in this discussion. But we've got to really get down to the basics here. Everybody's talking about, the cities are just scrambling to try and get taxes raised another way. Oh, they're doing this. The bottom line is that the second plank of communist Marxism is public rents on private property. This was absolute basic Karl Marxism. And of course, the, cesspool of liberalism that it is Marxism central. So the whole reason that this goes into the culture of Monroe County is because you have Marxist professors. They champion this. You can't trust the little guy. You can't trust Brad or Lucy or Jenee or
Nobody
Tiffany
can trust Brad.
or John
Mm-mm.
or Jerry or Robert. You can't trust any of us to wisely spend our own money. And so the paternal government, big government daddy has to come in and save you from yourselves and take the things away from you that you produce with your with your property that is your body and steal it from you because they sincerely believe that you're a dumbass and that you can't control your own life and that you shouldn't be in control of your own life. I mean, clearly. So, until everybody sits down and stops, like everybody should stop paying taxes of all kinds because all our taxes go is to, fund things like bombing brown children all over the world. I know Brad's laughing because he knows.
No, I swear, like Lucy.
Do you find it humorous to bomb brown children, Brad? Oh
Here we
my
go.
gosh. You're so racist. Brad's so racist. That's a t-shirt. Brad's so
Sure you bomb some Caucasian children.
He's been because Tom
Almost made it through the show before they got Brad.
Brad, I'm horrified.
We love you, Brad.
Anyways,
But the problem is that our entire educational system was created to develop factory workers so that we would all be interchangeable cogs in the wheel. I mean, it goes down to every single thing that we have. So the question is, what can we do? I mean, I've got this picture here to say that, we could let our properties go, or maybe we could put like this false thing around our property and build a Taj Mahal inside the walls and never let them in. But the fact of the matter is that people just aren't mad enough. They're just not mad
They're getting
enough.
closer. They're getting closer.
Oh, Monroe County starting.
What Jerry put, it said with lit and what did he say? With lit and property tax, we will own nothing. That's the goal. Taxes completely into renting everything. This is what is hilarious.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. Everything is coming from the satanic World Economic Forum and all of the Satanists that are above them. I mean, we are in a spiritual battle, people.
Well, RFK is dealing with that by dismantling the CDC. So
well, thank God he fired Paul off today.
I knew you were gonna. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know who Paul Offit is. He has he developed a vaccine. His share of that vaccine profit was estimated to be about $55 million to himself. So all those folks who want to say that anti-vaxxers are making so much money because we're telling people not to take a dangerous product and they're accusing him of lining his pockets. Well, I think that $55 million figure would make Satan himself blush.
If the government has that much money and we're debating property tax of people who Tiffany was talking about people who have to debate about buying cornflakes or Frosted Flakes. We're talking about those kind of decisions.
It's serious.
Corn cereal. But it's like, I'm sorry, Brad, Oreo or chocolate sandwich cookie. Oreo chocolate sandwich cookie.
Or generic Fig Newtons.
Real decisions.
The hypocrisy
here's what you're missing. Here's what you're missing. At every level, we are told about money wrong. Poor people have money. It comes in and somebody's mind that's poor, that that lacks money. The money is to come in and pay for bills. It never even reaches you. It's already spent. It's spent on Wednesday, and you're getting paid on Friday. Like then you're trying to figure out if you can afford cornflakes or if you're going down to the food pantry. The middle class, they spend their money in order to maintain a high credit score so that they can go out and buy things on time that they can't afford to pay for with cash. And the rich people are taught by their parents that if you have a dollar, you send it out and tell it to bring back with a friend. So we have to, I say we, the goal of the elites, the World Economic Forum, is to create parity amongst nations. We were talking about this in the 1980s, to bring the level of the U.S. down to the level of a third world country, so there would be more parity, equanimity, so that we wouldn't be, looking across to move out of your tax farm. Until people understand that every little bit that you get in the form of a raise is taken away, either through bad advice where they tell you, oh, buy a bigger house because it's a tax deduction. Bullshit. You should be paying off that house and keeping that house and leaving it for subsequent generations, rent it out, whatever.
Oh,
but I need a bigger house than my neighbor.
Lucy,
but if
to your point about the raises, wait, Lucy, to your point about the raises, in terms of making people more indebted to the system, those raises where you do get the bigger house, the bigger car, the second car, the boat, you and then make people who can't exit the system.
Exactly.
It
And it's
owns
golden
them.
ghetto. We
Mhm.
take 18 to 21-year-olds and we load them up with $100 to $200,000 worth of debt before they've learned how to make that first dollar, before they get the first job. They make sure that, I mean, can you go in as I've got an 18-year-old that started at IU today or this week. Their loan, I don't know what they're going to loan him, 10, 15, $20,000. But could he go to the bank and get 10, 15, $20,000 for a truck and pressure washing equipment? No. But he could start creating value for other people today with pressure washing in a truck, but he definitely couldn't do that with, a degree from IU. The whole
You let
system is
them go to
created so
that
that you
Marxist
never get ahead.
indoctrination
We
center?
can't have you save enough money
I
to get
knew
yourself
that was
out of the
coming.
system. You can't accumulate and get out of the
That
system. Okay, I'll set it for
I
you.
think that's a good idea for a show, like getting out of the system, getting out of the matrix. Like
Mhm.
that, when you're in that space, you're untouchable, you're outspoken, you're really able to understand and appreciate this American experience for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
Jerry
we
said
need
it
Brad's
right there.
black cat for that.
You
And he's sitting over
talking
there.
about all the hardship that everyone's having and just all of this financial pressure. Now imagine the assessor hanging up her phone from a taxpayer and saying, sell your house and move, then you can't afford to live in Monroe County. I mean, it was
I totally think that that's possible.
sickening.
Yeah,
It was sickening.
that's
Yeah.
horrible.
What an absolute grifter. See, that's why,
Yeah.
you know what? If I were in your shoes, I
But if
totally would
that's
have
the
put up hidden
system,
cameras. I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
I would have gotten that on. And,
Yeah.
your office is a public place. It's open to the public. There is zero
Yeah.
expectation of privacy there.
That's
So
easy
let
to
that
say
be
now.
any other whistleblowers that are experiencing similar things. Make sure that you get wired for sound and frickin' get some
Yeah.
video
And
evidence.
But before
and
you
call
blow
us.
it up, but I've been through Monroe County when Michaela was down at IU. Did I miss something?
You
Other
didn't
than
go to Lake Monroe?
and I think that is it a lot of lakes in the county? Is there a lot of lakefront?
So yeah, Lake Monroe, but then Lake Lemon. Lake Lemon is big, 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 big.
So that's all coming in at 2% because those are second homes. Those aren't homesteads.
Yeah,
A
some
lot of
people live
them.
there, but
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part, it's
Mhm.
pretty cash wise. So what we want to do is
1 second, another question. So is the city able to collect enough, or is the county able to collect enough money to meet its obligations?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The county has no obligations. The county is organized crime. It is a gang
Yeah.
writ large that they are
Yes.
constantly figuring out how to siphon more of somebody else's productivity, labor, and
Oh yeah.
profit into their own pockets.
Okay, that's
Fuck,
fine. I
I'm
get that.
sorry.
I get that. But like, is there major infrastructure needs, or are there
I handled all. I audited every
are
claim.
the
for
roads
county.
good? Are the schools good?
Yeah. And actually our schools they were spending all of their money and blowing their budgets, and we would have to release funding early to them because they couldn't even cover their monthly bills for that month if we didn't
Drunken
release it.
sailors on credit cards, and
Yeah.
that's
But I
making fun of
audited
drunken
every
sailors.
claim for the county and the checks. Like I seen every penny, and the training and like a training conference in Las Vegas, staying at Planet Hollywood, training
Well, why
conferences
would
in
you
Walt
not say-
Disney World,
that's
$400 briefcases, Kubotas, zero turns. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Hey, Joshua, he just asked me, is Lucy aware that the county is responsible for the sheriff's department, jail, many roads, and all bridges? So, that's great, but we already pay taxes on the roads. We've got wheel taxes being floated. They even want to put wheel taxes on Amish buggies.
but they need
So
more.
what you're saying, Joshua, is you're saying at the heart is how do we pay for things that are for the common good? And I submit that we can do that in a voluntary fashion without having to use the force of the government's gun, because if you don't pay a tax, whether it's a property tax and a sheriff with a gun shows up to drag you out of your house, or whether it's the IRS with agents who are issued firearms, so that if you don't pay enough to them, to the mafia, if you don't pay enough to them, they will shoot you. Eventually, men with guns show up. So how do you operate in a society where it can be voluntary? Well, I can tell you what our founding fathers did. They had lotteries.
Amendment.
And unlike our lotteries, they actually went to the roads. Does everybody remember when they were selling us on
Oh
the idea
yeah,
of the lottery
it's
that
excise
we were going to
taxes.
have everybody was
Schools.
going to have a $20, registration for your autos from then on. So all this crap would go away. So
all of this money's not going just to the sheriff, and they don't, like, the commissioners just bought $700 new chairs. Like, each chair was $700. Like,
I get
no,
my chairs on Facebook for $10.
$700
We are
chairs,
keeping the chair
$400
industry
now.
alive here, people. Like,
Yeah.
So, well, this is Josh. This was his first thing. Is this SNL skit? So I
if
don't know.
only this were fiction. If only
Yeah,
it
I
were
actually have
amusement
an
and comedy.
SNL skit story. Like, one of the commissioners, you'll just have to watch a commissioner meeting. Actually, in SNL, if you've ever seen the Schvetti balls, that is one of our commissioners.
Really?
Joshua, I oppose
Don
tariffs
in his shirt.
because tariffs
Curly hair.
tariffs get rid of a couple of macroeconomic factors.
Silent
For
tread.
example, sheep. New Zealand should produce sheep. We shouldn't produce sheep.
Bye,
They have
Josh.
an advantage in producing sheep. And so, the United States has, pretty great steel production. Perhaps we have an advantage in steel. The thing that's not happening here is there's no voluntary action by individual human beings. There is no free market because everything that we do is colored by the force of government. We can't go anywhere where, and it's even worse in China. And like you said, Happy Gilmore's grandmother's house was taken for not paying her taxes. I could literally, if this were true, I could literally be sitting in a house in downtown Indianapolis that was built in 1802 that had been owned by my great 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 grandfather and had been passed down through the company for generations and through the family rather through generations. And yet I could still not own the house. It could still be taken from me, even if it has been my family for 1 year, 100 years, 200 years. But people are not feeling the theft yet. People can still go to the grocery store. They can still, they think they can travel freely. They really can't. And everything is coming to the big reveal, which you're going to see here probably in the next 36 months, certainly under a Trump presidency. You're going to have CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and they love the money. They call it programmable money because you will be able to spend a certain percentage of your money on food, and they can literally decide whether or not you can get Oreos by SKU number, right there at the at
there's
the
going to
grocery
be
store.
black market Oreos or Oreos.
I'm gonna have some black market Oreos. I got the Amish down here. I'm gonna have some yeast rolls. You guys are gonna have to pay double.
Well, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
market,
I want some of those cinnamon rolls.
one of the
Secondary
beatitudes.
market. Thank you.
Whatever.
One of the beatitudes is the meek shall inherit the earth. So I don't know exactly what that means, but
And I wonder if Joshua is trying to, is roundabout trying to point out the fact that the U.S. Constitution specifically mentions tariffs as a way to pay for government, because I've had some pushback from people that would be otherwise liberty-minded when they say, but Lucy, taxes are in the Constitution in the form of tariffs. And I'm like, that's great. How about we only put tariffs on items that are coming in, and then we get rid of all the other taxes? So if we got rid of the unconstitutional taxes, we could fund with constitutional taxes, but you don't get frickin' both.
they got them both right now, full time, big time. And there's, it's just going to get very interesting to see. You can't get blood out of a turnip, and it seems like you can only spend it once. So
you can't get blood out of a turnip, but you can mash it. You can cook it.
Yeah, well, we're gonna all be eating turnips before it's over with, and not in our own house because it'll be gone. But so what we want to do is we want to have a property tax. Jenee, we need to have a property tax rally down there. We'll get.
Yeah, let's do it.
Lucy's got a kid going there now. I know a couple kids going.
I mean, the
there.
last property tax rally went really well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did go well. I still got people that are getting their reassessment done.
No, like
now.
The one from this past year.
Oh, well, that wasn't ours. We did one like 2 years ago, and I think it went well. We had people. Our action item was appeal your property taxes. Everybody do it. And so, which resulted in them not being able to do the property taxes for like 2 years because they can't. We just flooded them with it.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
That's how I got my $3,000 back. That's how I got $3,000 back. But it took them 3 years to do it. And my poor wife, she went through the process. They lost the paper. I mean, it was just a nightmare.
You guys ever think if you just bog down the government enough, like whatever you do will be gone by the time you die?
Yeah. Well, it's like.
I mean, that's what that kind of sounds like. If we all just did that.
Well,
they
just
didn't catch up to it enough to the point where.
So just think if we just didn't pay like every single body didn't pay their property taxes. Now, of course, you got to pay that pesky 10% penalty, but just, they have to go through a process. It takes about 3 years for it to get done. Well, then when the time comes, just pay your taxes, and then they'll have to, and then start it all over again. And finally, we'll make them come to a driving halt because they won't have the money to come get us. But I don't think anybody's got the guts to do it. I was thinking about doing it, but one guy can't do it. I'm not Mr. Smith going to Washington. I'm like Mr. Schmitz. I'm paying my taxes so I don't have to live in the street. But anyway, go ahead, Tiffany.
So centralized digital currency. So I think, where can I learn more? Because this sounds, it doesn't sound good. I mean, already I know there's no gold, and we've accused them of printing dollars. If we have a digital currency, there's too many ways that it can be manipulated. Is this
Unless
good?
they have control of it. Like if the government has the control of it,
And what, all of a sudden, it's unhackable? Something's unhackable. It's unmanipulatable.
I'm not saying it's unhackable. Like to the normal Joe, I would assume it's unhackable. But yeah, they're going to get a lot of people into.
Lucy, you got to
fraud. Okay, so the fraud goes super deep. So let's find a couple of different ways from the fraud. The first fraud is giving a private bank control of your money, because the Constitution is very clear that Congress has the right and responsibility to coin money and regulate the value thereof. So let's start there. So that's first of all Congress's job. Now, they abdicated that several times throughout the 1800s. That's why Andrew Jackson on his deathbed said basically he accomplished stopping the bankers from creating a centralized bank. Now, 1913 was the year that we got the Federal Reserve Act. It was also the year that we got the IRS. Those were both passed on December 23rd, so Christmas Eve. So the only senators that were there to sign off and vote on this were the ones that were bought and paid for to be there. Now, what happened in 1917? We got World War I. What happened in 1929? We got the Great Depression. What happened in 1942? We got the First World War. So we went from the late 1700s to the early 1900s, about 140 years, and we didn't have any problems with world wars. Now,
no, but we had problems with labor strikes. Like there were, like the whole Labor Day thing the other day. I was laughing at how many people were like, hey, let's celebrate our workers. And I'm like, yeah, like if you actually look back into history around that time as to how many worker strikes there was that wealth.
People were dying at work. They're treating them like
trash.
But
it was a matter of wealth too. Like the wealth was in the hands of
the
few.
Slaves. Actually, they were treating them worse than slaves.
How did the wealth get in the hands of the Rockefellers and the Carnegies? Well, one of the ways that they did that,
rude business. Capitalism.
Westinghouse. I'm gonna pick on Westinghouse because he, along with Edison, is the reason that there was a contract when when Edison came. Actually, Edison didn't come up with the light bulb. By the way, he was actually a ruthless asshole. But everybody says he got the light bulb.
He's a national hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna bugle sticks on that, or we can put on the gloves, man. I'll fight about Edison. He was a terrible person. So the reason most people don't know at the time that that Nikola Tesla had actually figured out how to transmit electricity wirelessly, and so he had two locations that he was doing this in, one in Long Island and one in Colorado. So he had this, big, almost like a water tower. So it was like a geodesic sphere on top of a water tower. He had figured this out. Now, the reason that he had figured this out actually is because he had gotten access to much older writings. I mean, this is ancient technology. For those that know what Tartaria is, you know what I'm talking about. For those that don't, look up Tartaria and go down that rabbit hole. So now we have, what do we have? We have somebody that can transmit electricity wirelessly. No, we can't have that because we've got to have the patient hooked up to the bloodletting machine and we got to bleed them dry. So Westinghouse and Edison, at the same time Tesla had free electricity, had a contract to put the first copper wires on. I think it was actually in Boston, but at one of the major cities, that would be worth billions of dollars in today's dollars. Well, they could not let Tesla do this. And so they wrecked his machines. They dismantled it. They messed him over. And so when Tesla died, it was Fred Trump. I think, was it Fred Trump that was Trump's uncle? It was Trump's uncle that went in there and got all of Tesla's paperwork and effects. So the Trump family.
Wait, the MIT professor?
Was he an MIT professor? I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He
you
says a lot
can
of
you
stuff.
can look it up, and I'm sure AI will lie to you. There, yeah, Yvonne's got it down there. But the point is this: the thought of not being able to bleed you dry with 1,000 paper cuts is what's horrifying to the elite. Because if any of us ever develop enough wealth, then we can band together and we can opt out of the system. Think about the purpose of a mortgage: more, death, gage, and gage. You are engaged to the death, either your death or the death of the contract that you pay off. And what do banks encourage you to do? All your financial advisors, whether they know it or not, they've been trained by the system, they're in on it. Banks make pretty much interest only that first 7 years in a mortgage. And what happens? You get job transfers, you have another kid, you're told it's a wise decision to go to a bigger house
And you
because
redo
then
it
you get a
all.
bigger tax deduction. And so then that 30-year mortgage, instead of having 23 years off, they reset you and now you're at 30 again. So if you do that even 3 times in your life, you have the opportunity to at least live mortgage free. But you were trained, you deserve it. Kids nowadays think that they should be in a $300,000 house and their parents started out in a $40,000 house. And so
But they're the same size now.
yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
That's
So okay, I'm gonna bring it back here. I'm gonna bring.
Yes. Yeah, I'll shut up.
We're gonna bring it back to the show here because we got a little bit down the rabbit hole, but we did
No, we were
talk
talking about taxes.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Tiffany, did you say I was right?
I'll allow that. I'll allow that as an answer. But does Jenee have a group and a platform to promote a rally before November of next year? I think you have plenty of time for that. So
Yeah.
I think we need to do we need to burn some tax papers or something. I mean, we like I said, we had some success with the appeal your property tax thing. I know that they're still sort of scrambling on that, but and then also I saw somebody else in the chat here that's somebody running for mayor. Let's see, Perry Robinson. Is
They want him to. He has ran for commissioner twice before, but he just our local party did not get behind him like they should have, and he didn't get in. But he needs in. He's like me. He's a good guy. He wants to just do the right thing. He wants to make changes. But Monroe County is very very
Jenee,
liberal.
Question: Do you have your 2 primaries under your belt?
No. Well, I'm running independent. I'm going.
You got to get a bunch of signatures, right?
Yeah, I have to have it because the same
that's
thing.
How we can help.
My local Republican Party didn't support me. They actually opposed me, like the county did.
Well, no, that's beside the point. If you have 2 primaries, you can do whatever you want.
But this is my first time doing anything. I know if I get my signature, I don't have to run in the primary, and I'll automatically be on the ballot.
So have you voted in the primaries though? I mean,
have I voted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the Republican ones?
Yes.
Oh, well, you can still run as a Republican.
You can still run as a Republican. Yeah.
You don't need their blessing.
You don't need their, if you have 2 primaries under your belt for either party,
Can I give you the strategy? This is the winning strategy. I was talking about it with a friend of mine today. I call it the homecoming queen strategy. So remember when you're in high school and you want to be homecoming queen. Yes, exactly.
I was first runner-up, but
Yeah, and you want to win. The way that you win is you dilute the number of votes that are needed by having an increased number of people that are running. So you nominate 5 of your friends, 10 of your friends, because if it's a 2-horse race, then it's, a 50-50, 51-49 situation. But you've got 10 people in there, you might only need 14 or 15% to win.
Yeah.
And so then you focus on a very small fan base that you really engage, that are willing to walk for you and flip a few votes. But if you can get 10 people to run for that position, then then you will totally blindside them. And you only have to do that in the primaries.
And honestly, I don't even want to be assessor. It's not like I was sitting around one day like
that's not a good strategy.
Well, I mean, really,
rally,
not your life.
No T-shirts, stop the yard signs.
Yeah, really though, I just feel like though, if I don't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah, is there going to be a Republican run? Is there going to be a Republican?
Nobody's running.
You might as well run as a Republican.
you
you
might as well.
the signature.
But
if you need the signatures,
why were you going to run as an independent?
Just because my party, they really trashed my name when they were just as bad to me as the county
This
was.
is the thing. This is
You
the
did
thing,
win.
this is
You
the
you
thing
wouldn't
about
want-
when you're playing inside ball. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Things happen to us, and maybe 10, 20, 30 people know about it, but
Yeah.
they're not the electorate.
Yeah.
So they can embarrass you, they can make your life difficult, they can do all these horrible things to you, but the
Yeah.
circle of people who know that, it's very small unless you tell people. And
Yeah.
those people are not the electorate. The electorate is so far distanced from what's
Very
going
wise
on
words.
at City Hall, County Hall, in these offices, and they care about top line. How's this going to impact my budget? How's it going to impact my family? If I call 911, is the police going to come? That's what the average Hoosier cares about. They care about their family, they care about their food, they care about their safety.
Yep.
You're
So hey,
good.
Perry, we got Perry to commit live on the show here that he's going to work with you. So
He's had my back. He's had my back this whole time.
Well, it's like it sounds like you need some more people, but Tiffany's exactly right. She's won a race, and this is one of those things where the party they don't care about Monroe County, or they would have run somebody against this assessor in the past. So I guess what we need to see is you get your level 2 completed, and then we can mobilize some people to get this thing going.
If that's what you want. But even if you don't do it, so this is what's crazy, Jenee. You've got a wonderful idea, a wonderful platform. Don't worry, some man will come out of nowhere knowing this much of the entire story, and he will put a cape on his back and call himself the Monroe County Avenger, and he will run for office on your neck just to be an elected official, and he could or could not be great for it. So that's the thing is, if you want it, you need to get it, but somebody has to do it for the people.
That's the only reason why I'm even doing it. I just feel like if I don't do it, who's going to do it? She's already said she's running next year, and if I don't run, I know what's going on in there. I'm aware. I already have my level 1. Like I'm closest to being able to do it. So I'm at least
get
gonna
it done.
try.
You got Perry's going to help you.
I'm against property taxes. Yeah, I'm against property taxes anyways, but if people are going to be taxed, it should be fair. It should be legal. It should be as less aggressive as possible. And I really want to get in there. And I want to right size, but I would love to advocate against property taxes, against this current assessment system. I want to buck up against
sounds like
the
you
Department
need
of
a
Local
lieutenant
Government.
general.
So
yeah.
All right. Well, so Wes wants Republicans like Jenee to run for office. Jenee, you are the Republican Party. So there's several groups that are forming and that are being formed that are, I think they're Republican based, but they're not Republican based. I don't know how. So, they're basically looking for people to get rid of the rhinos, whatever those people are, the established people. They're looking for good people to run, and you're a good person, but their strategy is to discourage and destroy, rinse and repeat. And you've seen all that. They've tried to discourage you, and then they destroyed you, and now they're going to do it again and do it again.
People wrote articles about me, and they really they gave me a hard time.
So okay, so
half of my ancestors run if you want to run.
I think she's going to run. I think we got to talk into it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. I really do.
No. Yoda, do or do not. There is no.
These aren't the assessors you're looking for.
I do. I want to help them, and I want to. I don't care about political party. I don't care. I want to help everybody. I just want to do the right thing.
Spiro, John, they've got great connections that can help you understand how to do the campaign part of it, fundraising. If this is what you want to do, we can get you trained and ready to make a difference.
You just got to get your level 2 done, and we'll take it from there. And then we just got to get some of them Utes down there at the IU behind you, and it's all over. But I think they're trying to work on a bill now where if you don't live in the state, you can't vote as a college student. So I'm sure they'll try to hose you out on that too. But I think we've got the word out a little bit for you, and you guys have put a lot of You guys can put a lot of private chat in tonight. What's up with that? I can't keep up with all this stuff. You're trying to confuse me.
Yes, John, confuse you with words.
It doesn't take a lot. It does not take Brad, don't make me be. I'm your only friend on this show. I'm your only
You get
friend.
him some the spaghettios with the letters. It'd probably kill you, John.
My ADHD, I can't eat alphabet cereal. I just can't do it. It just makes me crazy. And then Lucky Charms, I got to eat all the little charms. I save all the charms for last. Eat all the other stuff. So anyway, that's it. We're not doing conspiracy theory tonight. I don't know, Lucy. You probably got something. Save it for next time. So we're not doing it. We're not
Centralized digital currency.
So,
I think that's enough.
Yeah, the college Republicans. There we go. We got college Republicans already lining up for you. So that's good. So next week we got Ashley Grogg coming on. She's been on our show. She's a nurse with a cause, and she's got a new book out, and she's actually looking out for our health. So Jenee's going to take care of our property. Ashley Grogg's going to take care of our health. I mean, what could go wrong? I mean, we're all in good hands. So Jenee, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll be in touch. And I think you're.
Yes, thank you so much.
Guys, I appreciate it. It was nice meeting everybody, and I love the FAFO.
Yeah, that's you've got to meet FAFO. You got to meet her.
And I never taxed nobody.
Yeah.
When I ran against Mike Braun, the Democrats did some dirty stuff where they sent out all kinds of things, and they rightfully pointed out that when Mike Braun was in the Indiana Senate, he literally voted yes on every tax increase. And so they pointed out that I had never raised taxes on any Hoosier. Totally true.
Because it would go against your battle cry, taxation is theft.
Taxation is theft.
But all right, everybody. Well, Jenee, stay on afterwards because I forget to tell the guests and then they leave. And then we usually do a little debrief here. Tiffany tells us some bad jokes and Brad Irish goodbyes. So you can't miss that. So, hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hey, let's catch Witty Reviews next week at 8 and Mouthwash at 9 for Ashley Grogg. And thanks again, Jenee. And we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Bye.